Let me ask you something. Most people associate weakness with physical frailty or emotional sensitivity. But true weakness isn't about muscles or tears. It's a mindset. It's in how you respond to challenges and opportunities alike. But let's get one thing straight. We all have moments of weakness. Maybe you blamed others for your problems, avoided challenges, or let your emotions control you. Maybe you've stayed in a toxic relationship because you were afraid to be alone, or let someone manipulate you instead of standing up for yourself. Weakness can show up in many ways, but the good news? It isn't permanent. It's a mindset, and mindsets can be changed. In this video, we're diving into the 7 signs of a weak person, not to judge or shame, but to help you recognize these traits in yourself and overcome them. Because when you understand your weaknesses, you can turn them into strengths. And that's where Stoicism comes in. So, are you ready to face the truth and grow stronger? Let's begin. Let's be honest. We all have moments where we feel weak. Maybe it's when we're overwhelmed by stress, when we give up on a goal too soon, or when we let someone else's opinion dictate our self-worth. But here's what most people don't realize. Feeling weak doesn't make you a weak person. It's what you do after that moment that defines you. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy practiced by some of history's most resilient minds, teaches us that true strength isn't about being invincible. It's about being adaptable. It's about facing life's challenges with courage, clarity, and a commitment to growth. Think about Epictetus, who was born a slave and yet became one of the most influential philosophers of all time. He didn't let his circumstances define him. Instead, he focused on what he could control: his mind, his actions, and his attitude. In this video, we're going to explore the 7 signs of a weak person. But this isn't about pointing fingers or making you feel bad. It's about self-awareness. It's about recognizing these traits in yourself so you can take action and grow stronger. Because every single one of us has a potential to overcome weakness and build unshakable inner strength. So, whether you're here because you've been feeling stuck, or you're just curious about how Stoicism can help you live a better life, this video is for you. By the end of it, you'll not only understand the signs of weakness, but also how to turn them into strengths. Before we dive in, I want you to do something for me. Take a moment to think about one area of your life where you feel weak right now. Is it your mindset, your habits, your relationships? Keep that in mind as we go through these 7 signs, because this video is your first step toward transforming that weakness into strength. And if you're serious about strengthening your mindset, subscribe now and join a community of thinkers dedicated to mastering Stoicism and self-discipline. Let's get started. Number 1. They blame others for their problems. The first sign of a weak person is that they blame others for their problems. It's easy to point fingers and say, "It's my boss's fault I'm unhappy," or "My parents ruined my life." But here's the hard truth. When you blame others, you're giving away your power. You're saying, "I have no control over my life," and that's a dangerous mindset. Let me tell you about Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. Seneca was an advisor to Emperor Nero, one of the most unpredictable and cruel rulers in history. Seneca could have easily blamed Nero for the chaos and danger in his life. But instead, he focused on what he could control: his own mind, his actions, and his attitude. Even when Nero ordered Seneca to take his own life, Seneca didn't waste time blaming him. He accepted his fate with dignity and courage, showing us that true strength lies in taking responsibility for our own lives. So, if you catch yourself blaming others, stop. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve the situation? Maybe it's setting boundaries, learning a new skill, or simply changing your perspective. Remember, the moment you take responsibility is the moment you take back your power. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Blaming others keeps you stuck, but taking responsibility sets you free. Number 2, they seek constant validation. The second sign of a weak person is that they seek constant validation. If you're always looking for others to tell you you're good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. You're giving them control over your self-worth. And here's the thing. No amount of external validation will ever be enough if you don't believe in yourself. Let's talk about Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. Marcus had the entire world at his feet. People would have done anything to gain his approval. But in his private journal, Meditations, he wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Marcus didn't need validation from others because he knew his worth came from within. He focused on living a life of virtue, not praise. So, if you're constantly seeking approval, take a page from Marcus's book. Look inward. Validate yourself. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What kind of person do I want to be? Because no one else's opinion defines you. As the Stoics believed, true confidence comes from aligning your actions with your values, not from the applause of others. Stop waiting for others to tell you you're enough. Start believing it yourself. Number 3, they fear change and avoid challenges. The third sign of a weak person is that they fear change and avoid challenges. A weak person clings to their comfort zone, even when it's holding them back. But here's the truth. Growth only happens outside your comfort zone. If you're not willing to face challenges, you're not willing to grow. Let me share the story of Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. Zeno was a wealthy merchant who lost everything in a shipwreck. Instead of giving up, he turned his misfortune into an opportunity. He moved to Athens, studied philosophy, and created one of the most enduring schools of thought in history. Zeno didn't fear change, he embraced it. He understood that life is unpredictable, and the only way to thrive is to adapt. So, if you're avoiding challenges because they scare you, remember, every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Whether it's starting a new job, ending a toxic relationship, or pursuing a dream, the fear you feel is a sign that you're stepping into something meaningful. As Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Don't run from challenges, embrace them. That's where the magic happens. Number 4, they are controlled by their emotions. The fourth sign of a weak person is that they are controlled by their emotions. A weak person lets anger, fear, or sadness dictate their actions, often leading to regret and poor decisions. But here's the truth. Emotions are natural. What matters is how you respond to them. Take Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who was born a slave and faced unimaginable hardships. Despite his circumstances, Epictetus taught that we have the power to choose how we respond to any situation. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Epictetus couldn't control being enslaved, but he could control his mind. He chose to focus on what he could control, his thoughts, his actions, and his attitude. And in doing so, he became one of the most influential thinkers in history. So, if you find yourself overwhelmed by emotions, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this emotion serving me? If not, let it go. Remember, you are not your emotions. You are the one who chooses how to respond. As the Stoics believed, emotional mastery is the key to inner peace. Don't let your emotions control you. Take control of them. This is where true strength begins. Number 5, they complain constantly. The fifth sign of a weak person is that they complain constantly. A weak person focuses on what's wrong instead of what they can do to make it right. But here's the truth. Complaining doesn't solve anything. It only drains your energy and keeps you stuck in negativity. Think about relationships. If you're constantly complaining about your partner instead of addressing issues directly, the relationship suffers. Maybe you feel unheard, unappreciated, or frustrated. But instead of communicating or finding solutions, you vent endlessly to friends or bottle it up until resentment builds. Complaining doesn't fix the relationship. It just deepens the divide. Weak people use complaints as an escape, avoiding responsibility for their role in the situation. Instead of taking action, they blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck. But the reality is, complaining without action changes nothing. Strong people recognize problems and work toward solutions. They communicate honestly, take accountability, and make necessary changes. So, if you catch yourself complaining, shift your focus. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve the situation? Maybe it's having an honest conversation, changing your approach, or realizing when it's time to move on. Complaining keeps you stuck, but action sets you free. The strongest people don't dwell on problems. They seek solutions and take responsibility for their circumstances. Number 6. They give up easily. The sixth sign of a weak person is that they give up easily. A weak person quits at the first sign of difficulty, often missing out on the success that comes from perseverance. But here's the truth. Every great achievement requires persistence. Think about Cato the Younger, a Stoic who fought tirelessly for justice in the Roman Republic. Cato faced countless setbacks and powerful enemies, but he never gave up. Even when the odds were against him, he stood firm in his principles. His resilience inspired generations, and his legacy lives on as a symbol of unwavering determination. So, if you're tempted to give up, remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. The road to success is rarely easy, but it's always worth it. As Epictetus said, persist and resist. Persist in your efforts and resist giving in to distractions or discouragement. Don't let temporary failures define you. Keep going, because the only way to fail is to quit. Number 7. They envy others instead of improving themselves. The seventh and final sign of a weak person is that they envy others instead of improving themselves. A weak person looks at someone else's success and feels bitter rather than inspired. But here's the truth. Comparison is a thief of joy. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." When you envy others, you're wasting precious energy that could be used to improve your own life. Instead of focusing on what others have, focus on what you can do to grow. So, if you catch yourself feeling envious, shift your focus. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve my own life? Maybe it's learning a new skill, setting a goal, or simply practicing gratitude for what you already have. As the Stoics believed, true success isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with yourself. That's where real growth happens. Now that we've identified the 7 signs of a weak person, let's talk about how you can overcome them. Because here's the truth. Weakness isn't permanent. It's a mindset, and mindsets can be changed. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from within, and by practicing their principles, you can build unshakable resilience and inner power. Let's break it down step by step. Step 1. Take responsibility for your life. The first step to overcoming weakness is to take responsibility for your life. Stop blaming others for your problems and start focusing on what you can control. Remember Seneca's example. Even in the face of Nero's tyranny, he chose to focus on his own actions and mindset. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that your choices and actions shape your reality. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for your struggles. But every time you shift blame, you surrender your power. Instead, shift your focus inward. Recognize that even if you can't control every situation, you can always control your response to it. That's where real power lies. Ask yourself, what's one area of my life where I've been avoiding responsibility? Maybe it's your career, your relationships, or your health. Be honest with yourself. Whatever it is, take ownership. Write down one small action you can take today to improve that area. It doesn't have to be a massive change, just one step forward. As Epictetus said, you are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. The moment you take responsibility is the moment you take back your power. Furthermore, responsibility breeds confidence. When you own your actions, you stop feeling like life is happening to you and start realizing that life happens because of you. The most successful and resilient individuals didn't wait for someone else to fix their lives. They took action. You have that same ability. Your mindset is your foundation, and every choice you make reinforces your strength or your weakness. Choose wisely. Step 2. Cultivate self-awareness. The second step is to cultivate self-awareness. Weakness often comes from a lack of understanding about our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal to reflect on his actions and align them with his values. You can do the same. Self-awareness is a foundation of personal growth. Without it, you may find yourself repeating the same mistakes, reacting impulsively, or living a life misaligned with your core values. The Stoics believe that true wisdom begins with self-examination. If you don't know yourself, how can you improve? Every evening, take 5 minutes to reflect on your day. Ask yourself, did I act in alignment with my values? Did I let my emotions control me? What could I have done better? Writing these reflections down allows you to track patterns and recognize areas for improvement. Over time, this practice will help you become more mindful and intentional in your actions. Additionally, self-awareness isn't just about recognizing flaws. It's also about acknowledging strengths. When you take time to assess your actions, you'll start to see progress, reinforcing positive habits and building confidence. As Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. The more you understand yourself, the more control you have over your thoughts, emotions, and actions. True strength starts with knowing who you are and striving to become the best version of yourself. Step 3. Embrace challenges as opportunities. The third step is to embrace challenges as opportunities. A weak person avoids difficulties, but a strong person sees them as chances to grow. Think about Zeno of Citium, who turned a shipwreck into the foundation of Stoicism. Challenges are not setbacks. They are stepping stones to resilience. Every struggle you face is a chance to develop strength, patience, and wisdom. When life throws obstacles in your way, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Instead of seeing difficulties as roadblocks, view them as necessary tests that forge character. Next time you're confronted with hardship, whether it's a difficult conversation, a demanding project, or a personal struggle, lean into it. Approach it with curiosity rather than fear. Remind yourself that every great thinker, warrior, and philosopher endured challenges that made them stronger. As Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Start small. Take on tasks that push your limits. Volunteer for challenges that force you to grow. Over time, the things that once intimidated you will become routine. Growth only happens outside your comfort zone. Strength is not given. It is earned through perseverance. Don't run from challenges. Embrace them. That's where real transformation happens. Step 4. Practice emotional mastery. The fourth step is to practice emotional mastery. A weak person is controlled by their emotions, but a strong person learns to regulate them. Epictetus taught that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions. Emotions are natural, but letting them dictate your actions is a sign of weakness. A strong person understands their emotions without being ruled by them. The next time you feel anger, fear, or sadness, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this emotion serving me? If not, release it. Mindfulness techniques, such as meditation, deep breathing, and journaling can help you process emotions in a healthy way. Instead of suppressing them, observe them without attachment. True emotional mastery is about learning to respond rather than react. A weak person lashes out impulsively, but a strong person remains composed, making choices based on wisdom rather than impulse. Start by practicing small moments of emotional control throughout the day. When someone irritates you, pause before speaking. When stress builds up, step back and regain perspective. Over time, these small moments of mastery will build into an unshakable inner strength. Emotional mastery isn't about being emotionless. It's about being in control. The more you cultivate this skill, the more resilient and unbreakable you become. Step 5. Focus on solutions, not problems. The fifth step is to focus on solutions, not problems. A weak person complains about what's wrong, but a strong person looks for ways to make it right. Complaining changes nothing. It only deepens feelings of helplessness. Instead, adopt a problem-solving mindset. When faced with a difficulty, pause and shift your focus. Ask yourself, what is within my control? What action can I take right now? Maybe the solution requires creativity, asking for help, or simply adjusting your perspective. The Stoics believe that obstacles contain hidden opportunities. Every challenge forces you to think differently, grow stronger, and become more resourceful. Training your mind to seek solutions instead of dwelling on problems builds resilience. Over time, this habit transforms the way you approach life. Instead of feeling powerless, you'll develop confidence in your ability to adapt and overcome. Next time you encounter a setback, remember, complaints change nothing. Action changes everything. Stop focusing on the problem. Start focusing on the solution. Step 6. Build resilience through persistence. The sixth step is to build resilience through persistence. A weak person gives up easily, but a strong person keeps going no matter what challenges arise. Consider Cato the Younger, who faced countless setbacks yet never compromised his principles or wavered in his commitment. His unyielding persistence in the face of adversity serves as a powerful reminder that true strength is forged in the heat of hardship. When you feel the urge to quit, pause and remind yourself of why you started. Reflect on your core values and long-term vision. Instead of being overwhelmed by the magnitude of your goal, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Each small victory, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a building block towards greater success. Celebrate these milestones. They fuel your motivation and reinforce your belief in your own ability to overcome obstacles. Remember the wisdom of Epictetus. Persist and resist. Persist in your efforts and resist giving in to distractions or discouragement. These words underscore the importance of steadfast commitment. Understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. Persistence isn't just about pushing through. It's about learning from every failure and using that knowledge to improve your future efforts. In the end, the only true failure is a decision to give up. Keep moving forward with determination, and you will be amazed at what you can achieve. Your journey is defined by your perseverance. Each step taken in spite of difficulties cements your resilience and leads you closer to your goals. Step 7. Focus on your own journey. The seventh and final step is to focus on your own journey. A weak person spends energy envying the success of others, but a strong person competes only with themselves, striving to be a better version of who they were yesterday. Seneca wisely observed, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." In other words, when you fixate on what others are doing or what might happen in the future, you lose sight of the present moment and your own unique path. Instead of comparing yourself to others, channel your energy into self-improvement and personal growth. Start by setting clear, realistic goals that are aligned with your values and aspirations. Break these goals into smaller, actionable steps and take time to track your progress. Celebrate every achievement, no matter how small, because each step forward builds your confidence and reinforces your commitment to your journey. Remember that success is not defined by how you measure up against others, but by the progress you make in becoming the best version of yourself. When you let go of comparison, you free yourself to focus on your personal evolution. Embrace the challenges and victories that come your way as opportunities to learn and grow. As the Stoics believed, true fulfillment comes from continuous self-improvement. Stop comparing and start improving, because the only person you need to outdo is the one you were yesterday. Now it's your turn. As we reach the end of this journey toward overcoming weakness, I invite you to reflect on the steps we've explored today. Which of these strategies resonated with you the most? Perhaps it was the power of taking responsibility, cultivating self-awareness, or embracing challenges as opportunities. Think about one small, actionable step you can take today to begin transforming your life. Whether that means journaling your thoughts, setting a personal goal, or simply committing to a new habit that aligns with your values. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Share in the comments below which step struck a chord with you and what specific action you plan to take. Your insights could be the spark someone else needs to start their journey towards strength and resilience. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who could benefit from this message. Remember, true strength begins with self-awareness and is built through consistent, deliberate action. You hold the power to transform your weaknesses into strengths. Each small step you take is a victory in itself. Take that first step today, and watch how it sets the foundation for lasting growth and unbreakable character. Until next time, stay stoic, keep growing, and embrace the journey ahead with courage and determination.